Good morning, dear students. Today we are going to have a detailed analysis of the word, which is an excerpt or extract from the Memoirs of Pablo Neruda. The word proves the multitude potential of words and Neruda's intimate affiliation with words that portray his personal and political life. The whole passage is rendered in italics and stands out like a poem. Except three more passages in this manner, the remaining parts of Pablo Neruda's memoirs are written in prose. So there are only four parts in these memoirs written in verse style, and the word is one of them. The passage is filled with poetic expressions and figures of speech. In the first reading, we may feel that the lines or ideas of the poem are confusing, but it does not create any problem in understanding. The word is written in free verse. That's why the lines and expressions become more clear and powerful. The lines are filled with poetic beauty. The uniqueness of Neruda's poem is that it is compared with food and other delicious dishes that decorate one's food. The lines include the themes of colonialism and foreign invasion. After the invasion, the conquerors take away everything valuable from the land, but leave behind the real gold that is their language. The poet compares the language with many elements such as shining rocks, silver fish, fruit, algae, agates, olive, and polished slivers. He also uses metaphors like foam, thread, metal, etc. to describe words. Now let's have a look into the text. Neruda begins by saying that words can manifest vivid expressions. Whether in poetry or prose, words sing and dissent, and the poet even bows to them. He expresses his intense love towards words. He always clings to words and tries to tame it while writing. Sometimes he waits greedily for words, and all his acts of life are closely associated with words. Like all poets, he searches for the most beautiful and the most suitable words to be used in his poetry. He makes necessary alterations to the words and organizes them in the most suitable and attractive ways in his poetry. Sometimes words come like unexpected rain, and he waits for them greedily to drop down. He loves vowels and compares them with vivid objects in nature like glittering colored stones or jumping silver fish or foam, thread, metal or dew. The beauty of all these things could be expressed only through words. While writing poems, he often runs after beautiful words to make them fit into his poetry. He compares words to honeybees which fly through the mid-air and imagines himself trying to catch these flying words from air. He compares his encounter with words to the everyday activities in human life. He deals with words like a cook preparing a delicious food, for he says he cleans them, peels them, and makes them his meal. By chewing, drinking, and mashing these words, he makes necessary changes and appropriations in them and then applies them in his. He compares these words used in his poems to all beautiful things in nature, like stalactites or like slivers of polished wood or coal or pickings from a shipwreck. He calls pickings from a shipwreck as gifts from the waves. For a shipwrecked man who is lost himself in an uninhabited island, everything that washes ashore from the wrecked ship are of exquisite value. So like that, for a poet, words are of exquisite value. Neruda finds everything in the world existing in the word. So he says it like this: everything exists in the word. Words have the ability to change the meaning of an entire idea. So the application of accurate words for the expression of a certain idea is of great importance. Words have all kinds of features like shadow, transparency, feathers, and hair. Just like the pebbles in the river beds, which change their shape through so much rolling down with the flowing water, the words have gathered their meanings through long journeys from a land to another land. Some words stay rooted in time and place for a longer period and thus carry the inheritance of ancient culture and history. Neruda says that words exist everywhere, from the briar to the budding flower. Words exist everywhere. He feels so proud of the language that they have inherited from the merciless and greedy Spanish conquerors of Mexico and Peru. He uses the term conquistador in the poem. Actually, it is a term that refers to a Spanish conqueror. The Spanish conquerors had invaded the Latin American countries, crossing the rugged mountain ranges in the borders of Latin America. They destroyed everything and looted all their wealth and natural resources like black tobacco, gold, corn, etc. Neruda calls the Spanish invaders as people with a voracious appetite who swallowed everything in Latin America. Wherever they went, they razed the land. The only thing they left behind was their language, which later became the language of Chile. Neruda carves out a beautiful image of glittering words falling out of the boots, beards, helmets, and horseshoes of the barbarous invaders. Thus, the invaders took away every precious thing they had, but gave them their precious language, the golden language, in return. Neruda offers some domestic images in the passage by comparing the words to delicious dishes. Just like food tenders energy, vitamins, as well as taste to one's body, words give an energy and enthusiasm to a poet's mind. In the last section of the passage, he makes some critical remarks against the colonization and foreign invasion. He describes how a foreign invasion destroys the wealth, heritage, culture, and monuments of a land, and how they loot valuable things from a nation. In short, the lines of the word are highly decorated with polished language and poetic expressions. While reading through these lines, one sees a man drunk with poetry, reveling in its intoxication. This passage is replete with images and surrealistic expressions. It is highly suggestive and picturesque. Thank you.